Hello, and welcome to Realdawg TV. Realdawg is part of CBS Sports Digital and the 247 Sports Network. I'm Mike Martin. Right now we're going to take a look at behind the numbers for the Washington Huskies in the 2017 NFL Draft. It took until late in day number 3 until the 5th Washington Husky was drafted when the Philadelphia Eagles took Washington defensive tackle Elijah Qualls. Since Steve Emtman was the first player taken in the 1992 NFL Draft, there have been just 5 defensive tackles drafted out of Washington. To go along with the 6'1", 313-pound Qualls, recently the Huskies have had a succession of massive run stoppers taken in the NFL Draft, with the 6'3", 348 Alameda Ta'amu taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers in the 4th round of the 2012 draft, followed by the 335-pound, 6'2" Danny Shelton taken by the Cleveland Browns with the 12th overall pick in the 2015 NFL Draft. Under Hall of Fame coach Don James, Washington became known for their ferocious defenses, with the Cincinnati Bengals picking John Ross with the 9th overall pick in the 2017 NFL Draft. He becomes only the 4th Washington offensive player since Hugh McElhaney in 1952 to be taken in the top 10 of the NFL Draft. Also, there have only been 4 Washington Huskies selected higher than John Ross: Jake Locker with the number 8 pick in 2011, Steve Emtman with the number 1 overall pick in the 1992 NFL Draft, Reggie Rogers in 1987 with the number 7 pick, and Ron Holmes with the number 8 pick in 1985. Despite being the fastest person ever to strap on a helmet, John Ross was the 3rd receiver taken in the draft. However, his 4.22 40-yard dash speed vaulted him into the top 10, as he was earlier listed as going around the 4th or 5th. Many heads were scratched when the 2nd LSU defensive back was taken before a single University of Washington defensive back. It seems like overnight the NFL GMs finally got their heads on straight when Kevin King was taken with the 1st pick in the 2nd round. In fact, 3 of the first 11 picks on day number 2 were dogs. Kevin King to the Packers, Budda Baker to the Cardinals, and Sidney Jones to the Philadelphia Eagles. According to the university, Washington is now the first school in the Common Draft era with 3 second-round picks from its secondary in the same draft. For Washington fans, it's even more curious the delay, given the fact that the NFL Rookie of the Year was former Dog and current Kansas City Chief Marcus Peters. Peters additionally was the NFL's interception leader in 2015 as a 2-time Pro Bowler. In 2015, Washington Husky Desmond Trufant was also a Pro Bowler for the Atlanta Falcons. 10 years ago, a 2-year drought in the NFL Draft was started under Washington coach Tyrone Willingham. Oh, how times have changed. According to ESPN, over the last 3 years, Washington has had 11 guys drafted in the first 2 rounds, 4 more than any other Pac-12 team. 9 of those 11 guys began as coach Steve Sarkisian recruits. Budda Baker and Sidney Jones are the first 2 of the Coach Pete guys at the University of Washington to go on to the NFL, and they did it in 3 short years. Sidney Jones locked down 1/3 of Washington's defensive backfield and looked to be a lock for day 1 of the draft until he tore his Achilles at Washington's Pro Day. There's a big demand for quarters in the NFL, as a quarter of the first-round picks going to defensive backs. Jones looked to join Washington first-rounders Marcus Peters in 2015 and Dana Hall in 1992, both taken with the 18th overall picks, and Desmond Trufant with the 22nd pick overall in 2013. Despite his injury, Jones was still taken by the Philadelphia Eagles with the 43rd pick. When all is said and done, Jones may end up being the steal of this draft. For the second time in 3 years, Washington has had 4 of the first 44 players taken in the NFL draft. In 2015, Washington saw Danny Shelton, Marcus Peters, Shaq Thompson, and Howley Kikaha taken 12th, 18th, 25th, and 44th respectively. This year, it was John Ross, Kevin King, Buda Baker, and Sidney Jones' turn, as they were all taken by the 43rd pick. In those drafts, there were 4 first-rounders and 4 second-rounders. However, missing from the NFL draft was top edge rusher JoJo Mathis, who Pro Football Focus lists as the number 1 undrafted free agent. For Realdawg TV, I'm Mike Martin.